Attention bowlers, we are going to get started. Welcome back to Lakeside Lanes in Manchester, New Hampshire. This is Anthony Leonardi at Caitlin Zoltko. In the playoffs, the match format is 5 strings in which the total pinfall determines the winner. And I'm Steve Kelly on the call for the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour, brought to you by 3 Ball Spare Conglomerate. Thanks for tuning in. This match was played on Friday, May 23rd, 2025. This broadcast should have subtitles and live captioning enabled, so enable it if you enjoy this feature. Also, this broadcast should have the transcript feature enabled if you're watching from YouTube, so do consider enable that if you enjoy that feature. And there's Anthony Leonardi on the first ball with a 4 drop. First ball jitters, second ball jitters. 5 down, 5 up for Mr. Anthony Leonardi, the challenging challenger away bowler here at Lakeside Lanes versus Caitlin Zoltko, the home bowler, and one heck of a challenging first pitch, first box for Anthony Leonardi. 6 after 1. Still plenty of time to go today in our 5-game shootout. Here's Anthony Leonardi, who finished first place in Division 4 and third place overall in the entire wild card for Class D North. And here he is. First ball jitters done. There's a strike for Anthony Leonardi.
Like that, just like that.
All over it, and he's off to the races here on the ACST. Some Friday night action here at Lakeside Lanes. Folks, during the match, in addition to fun facts and anecdotes, I'll provide the play-by-play action and scoring to the best of my ability. Have a look at the unofficial scoreboard on your screen. The bowlers maintain the official league record separately. The stream score, of course, is always unofficial. Just would like to remind. I may occasionally pause to verify scores if things seem out of sync. I appreciate your patience when that happens, and I'll do my best to add chapters to the YouTube description so you can choose to jump to certain points in the game if that is your preference. There's a 3 drop for Anthony Leonardi on the back right corner. The 6-9-10 poked out. Another ball to conclude the strike fill. Oh, and he's on the pocket. It looks good. 9 fill. Great way to fill it considering the first ball. The 4 pin is all that's left. Anthony Leonardi for the 10 box. Oh, and that will be a fouled 9 box for Mr. Leonardi, 34 after 3. Take one moment just to correct something with the zoom cam here. It's a little bit out of view. There we go. First ball, 7 drop, missed the head pin for Anthony Leonardi. It's the 1-2-4. Don't let that pin in the gutter deceive you. That pin is out of play and considered down. Oh, and for the spare, it was a good bid. He was on the head pin, but connected with the 1 and the 2. A little bit at a strange angle, leaving the 4 to stand alone. And he'll take a 9. That's 43 after 4 for Mr. Anthony Leonardi. Let's talk about Mr. Anthony Leonardi, our away bowler and the challenger in the wild card. He finished the regular season with a record of 138 and 114. At home, he was 69-57, and away, he was also 69-57, a 1.21 kill-death ratio, both home and away. And he missed the head pin on the 5th ball, first pitch, but he dropped 6. Sleeper pin behind the head pin, the 7 and the 8. Lumberyard of wood down there. Three planks by my count. The execution on the cap to the right of the head pin leaves the head pin. He hit everything but the target pin he was aiming for. And there's a 10 box for Anthony Leonardi. Let's assess the score, shall we? He's at 53 after 5 with 1 strike and a 9 fill on that strike. His lowest box was a 6 in the beginning, but it's a good opening stanza for Anthony Leonardi against the home bowler, Caitlin Zoltko. And let's say hello to Caitlin Zoltko for the first time on my program, actually. Caitlin Zoltko, the home bowler from Lakeside Lanes. And she is off on the head pin. Drops 5 on the left. Caitlin Zoltko had an impressive first season in the ACST, finishing 180 and 72, a 2.5 win-loss ratio. That is really good. At home here at Lakeside Lanes, Caitlin Zoltko had a home record of 96-30. Away, she was 84-42, a 3.2 kill-death ratio at home and a 2 win-loss ratio away. And Caitlin will take a 9-box, 9 after 1. It's all good. Caitlin Zoltko's season average is 106.12. Again, really, really good for a rookie season. She drops 5. That's the 4 horsemen right side on the 4. 4, 6, 1, 3, 10. That's an interesting leave. And to be honest, I don't know if I've seen this leave in a long time. Caitlin's on the headpin. Too much on the headpin. Proton torpedo drilled into the headpin. Took nothing else out. And Caitlin Zoltko, nice 10-box. That's 19 after 2 for Ms. Zoltko. Here's her record. She's currently number 1 across Division 2 and in the wild card overall. The queen of Class D right here. 180, 172, as we said. Her home average 104.24, away average 108. And she's on the headpin. She drops 9 on the headpin. And that's the 10 pin, the orange pin for Caitlin Zoltko for a spare. Piece of wood across the 10 perpendicular. And I think that will be a spare. I'll just wait for the call. It is a spare. 29 and a bonus after 3 for Caitlin Zoltko. I only said a hold for the call because, again, remember the stream score is unofficial and I have nothing to do with the final score, but it is officially a spare. And just my eyesight, that's a faraway pin. Caitlin Zoltko to the right. Oh, in the same situation as Anthony Leonardi, a 3 drop, but it was a 3 fill for Caitlin Zoltko. 32 after 3 on that spare fill. Anthony Leonardi got away with it because he had to strike as the mark. And Caitlin Zoltko punches the head pin on the pocket, and everything mixes down except for the 2. The 2 is all that's left. It's for the 10-box. And bang, there it is. 42 after 4 for Caitlin Zoltko. Down by 1 to Anthony Leonardi's 43 after 4. It's a tight match. There's still 4.5 games of bowling to go, but in the current state, both bowlers are matching nearly pin for pin. Caitlin Zoltko just down by 1, but there's still one more box to go. And 3 go down. Half Worcester plus a friend on the left side. Caitlin Zoltko's high single 143, high series 594. Oh, and she'll punch the 3 and only the 3. Caitlin Zoltko for the season at 37 strikes, 186 spares, 199 10 boxes. Perfect box percentage of 47% and 9,551 seasonal total pins. And she'll take a nice out, great out at Caitlin Zoltko. And that will be 51 after 5 for Ms. Zoltko, I believe. Actually, my apologies. It appears that the fill was 2 and not 3. Again, the stream score is always unofficial. The official score is 53-50. Caitlin Zoltko down by 3. Anthony Leonardi. And now, the gentleman himself, Anthony Leonardi, will return. And he'll be on lane 7 this time. Welcome back. Anthony Leonardi on the head pin. And what an opening statement. That's a 10 drop and a strike for Mr. Anthony Leonardi. Our nice quick one. Let's watch this. All over the 1-2 pocket, and the 9 pin falls last. Anthony Leonardi working on a strike, his second strike of the game. Leonardi's on the pocket again. Double strike. Finally, we've love to see those no matter who bowls them. Anthony Leonardi has dropped 20 in 2 frames. Want to see another strike? Here it is. I promise you it's a different one. This time the 4 pin fell last. Let's see if he can make some magic. So the next ball will fill the 6th frame at 20 plus. To give you some lingo on the double strike fill math. Here he goes. It's heading for the pocket for the triple strike. On the head pin, it was a great offer. So that's a 26 in the 6th frame for 79 and 6.
Nowhere to go.
And 5, 6, 9, 10 for Anthony Leonardi, coming to us from Academy Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts. And will he spare? Oh,
yep.
Yes, he will spare it. He missed the target, but the wood and the sidewall covered him. Watch this on the accordion. He connected with the 6 and the 9 pocket, and the sidewall gave him a kick to push the piece of wood to trip the 5, and that was how Anthony Leonardi just got himself the 109 and 8 with a 3-mark string and a double strike. A double strike 6, a big 26 in the 6th, then a big 20 in the 7th, and now a big 10 plus in the 8th. And let's not forget his 19 after his 19 in the 2nd. Isn't it fun when you can start measuring boxes in high double digits? And we have a bit of a cleanup to go on down there. So let's take a look at Anthony Leonardi's stats again, since we were just a little bit quick on him earlier. He has a season average of 101.60, a home average of 102.67, an away average of 100.53, a high single of 131, a high series of 591, 44 strikes, 161 spares, and 165 tens with a 41% perfect box percentage. And he is back. Anthony Leonardi filling a spare on the headpin, and too much of a headpin shot in a drill. The drill that pierces the heavens. 113 and 8 with that forefill. And he'll take 2 more out. 6 down, 4 up. 2, 3, 6, 10 for Anthony Leonardi. Two, 3, 6, 10 for a 10 box. And he'll make a great out out of that. Great out of you. 122 in 9 for Anthony Leonardi. 5 headpin shots out of 9 with 1 split. 122 and counting. That score is confirmed. Wild for Anthony Leonardi. 3 strikes, 1 spares. And we're only in game 1. Can you imagine that? Anthony Leonardi came to play. He's on the headpin again. He'll drop 7. He'll mix 7. Split 7, that is. 5, 6, 10. Piece of wood across the 5. You just have to sweep that over to the 6 and the 10, and that will go. Come on, Anthony, you know what to do. Cap the wood. Oh, capping that wood was risky. It could have still gone, but just not one of those shots that you really want to cap. You wanted to approach the the diagonal wood from the left. There's a 10, and that's an opening statement of a 132 for Anthony Leonardi. What a game. A double strike, a big 26, 4 marks, 3 strikes, 1 spare, 132, 6 headpin shots for 10, 2 splits. And Anthony Leonardi making a great opening wall of defense for Caitlin Zoltko, who needs to make up an 82-pin deficit in the first game. Again, it's not about each game. It's about the overall match and the grand total pinfall. But Anthony Leonardi, that early pin advantage is going to be good defense, but let's see what Caitlin Zoltko can do. She'll split 7 after everything falls. Anthony Leonardi averaged 6.7 on the first ball in the first game. Caitlin Zoltko so far 5.2. Here's Caitlin Zoltko on the spare, and she'll cap the wood, get a little bit stuffed. She'll leave all but the 7. Zoltko, 9 or 10. And the wood thwarts the 10 box. It'll be 59 after 6 for Caitlin. Caitlin Zoltko, again, like we said, she's number 1 in Class D North Division 2 and number 1 in Class D North overall. She has 4 matches this season at over 550. She has 3 out of 18 matches with shutout victories, 14 out of 18 matches with double-digit wins. And she'll take 3 out, maybe 4, maybe 5. It'll be a 4 drop. Missed the target to the left. 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 10. Zoltko in the pocket. Great spare by Caitlin Zoltko. Another mark, her second mark. Caitlin Zoltko getting started. Watch this. 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 10. She just had to connect with the pocket and push to the right. And she was on the 1, 2 pocket, and she pushed to the right. 69 and a bonus after 7 for Caitlin Zoltko. Here she goes on the fill. On the pocket. 6 fill and a split. That's the 4-6-2-10, 4-6-2-7. Caitlin Zoltko on the correct pocket. A little bit of a thick-ish hit, a full hit on the 2-4. It was going to be a difficult one, but she took 3 of the 4 sticks. Now for the 6 for a 10 box. And there it is, a 10 box for Caitlin Zoltko, 85 in 8. Here's the playoff picture in case you need to know. So Caitlin Zoltko defeated Greg Vellante in the first round. She's now against Anthony Leonardi. And then there's Nick Susi, who defeated Alex Patton, as Nick Susi versus Gary Dion, who defeated Jonathan Hogan in the first round. Just to give you an idea of the playoff picture. So this is the semifinal round. Winner goes to the finals. Caitlin Zoltko on the head pin. A little bit too much on the head pin. Both bowlers with a full shot spread eagle so far. Both bowlers have one on the books. A spread eagle. And she decided to take the left wing first. 2 of the 3 on the left wing. And she'll make it a 7 box. That's 92 and 9 for Ms. Zoltko. Alrighty. Caitlin Zoltko has a max of 122 with a triple strike. She's on the pocket. And it was a great offer. 7 drop so far is the 7-10-6. She can get to 112 if she can spare this and get a strike fill. So possible 132 versus 112 max. Oh, and she'll play the wood and she'll hit it a little full. Maybe full's the wrong word, but fortunately the wood just didn't play nice. 8, 9, or 10 for Caitlin Zoltko. She'll make a nice, maybe a 10. Let's watch that wood roll. Goodbye. Nice 10 for Caitlin Zoltko. It was a long one, but it was worth the wait. That's 102 in 10 for Caitlin Zoltko and 132 for Anthony Leonardi. It's a difference of 30 in the favor of Anthony Leonardi after one game. But again, it is not about the individual game performance. It's about the final 5-game total. That's the rules of the playoffs here on the ACST in the Class D North semifinal playoff match. Anthony Leonardi at Caitlin Zoltko. I'm Steve Kelly on the call. It's great to have you along. And actually, let's go down to the second game. Welcome to the second game, Anthony Leonardi. And he'll drop 7. 139. For Mr. Leonardi for a spare. And he's just a little bit off the target pin, and he'll leave the head pin. Leonardi for the 10, and he'll punch that right in the face for a 10 box. That's Anthony Leonardi for the 10. Anthony Leonardi, what more can I tell you about him? He has 9,144 pins in the regular season. And he's a little bit to the left of the head pin. He'll drop 5 to open up. He finished first place in Class D North Division 4, and he finished in the number 4 seed in D North overall. So both bowlers this evening are division leaders. Caitlin Zoltko, number 1 in her division, number 1 in the wild card overall in the seedings. Leonardi, first in his division, 4th overall in the wild card. And Anthony Leonardi is having a bit of a hard time in that box. That'll be an 8, leaving the 1 and the 5 just a little off target on balls 1, 2, and 3. Anthony Leonardi has 3 matches at or over 550 in the regular season. 2 out of his 18 matches have been shutout victories so far, and he has 7 out of 18 matches with double-digit wins. Anthony Leonardi averages 18.67 for 50 on the head pin per match, at least as of the regular season. And he'll drop 8 right there. It's a 6 and the 10. Could be a layup. There's a piece of wood across the 6 and the 10. Just got to hit somewhere in the vicinity on the plate and push him back. And here we go, and there's the spare, all over it, punching it right in the face. Anthony Leonardi for a spare. In fact, let's watch that again. Very focused man, Anthony Leonardi is all over that. I was worried, actually, that would be too full on the 6, the way the Lakeside plays, but it worked out in his favor. Orange pin, head pin for a fill. Fires to the right. Oh, and a 2 fill. Punches. And that's a half Worcester, as we call it in the culture. Punch the 2 and the 8 or the 3 and the 9. And a quarter Worcester is if you just punch the 2 or just the 3. And he'll punch down the center this time, but get at least 1 extra pin out of it. 2, 4, 6, 7 for Anthony Leonardi. And that'll be an 8. And, oh yes, You know, it would be absolutely lovely if I could show Caitlin Zoltko's score on the screen. Right, there we go. My apologies on that. We'll get that fixed in a moment. Just something I'll get that fixed in the intermission here. We'll get that fixed there in just a moment. We have the full screen score we can review in just a couple of minutes here. It's never a perfect broadcast. Something always happens. Luckily, this is a fairly easy one to fix. At least I will hope. Anyways, that's a 9 for Anthony Leonardi. Check this out. It's 47 after 5 for Anthony Leonardi. Caitlin Zoltko still working on the first game here. She has yet to bowl, so we're going to see what happens here. And here we are. Caitlin Zoltko, 27.85 for 50 on the head pin. Her general average head pin completion percentage per match. Caitlin Zoltko to the right of the head pin drops 3. Just do a test here. Yep, it is working. Cool. Love it. Zoltko missed the head pin on the first ball. Second ball connects with the 1-2 pocket, leaves the 3 and the 7. And that'll be a 9 opener for Caitlin Zoltko. Caitlin Zoltko averages 14.46 splits per match, at least in the regular season on average. And her home house is here at Lakeside Lanes in Manchester, New Hampshire. She bowls and works here. Lakeside Lanes is one heck of a busy place, especially right now. And there's a strike for Caitlin Zoltko. Speaking of busy. In fact, am I quick enough to get a replay? Let's watch this. Bam. All over it. 19 and a bonus after 2 for Caitlin Zoltko. Caitlin Zoltko in her past 5 regular season matches, she took 43 points. That's an average of 8.6 points per match in the past 5, to give you an idea of her recent performance outside of the playoffs. And there's a 7 drop and a 7 split so far on the strike. 7-10-6 for Caitlin Zoltko. 6-7-10 wood across the 6 and the 10. Oh, and she'll kick the wood, and would you believe that didn't take anything? Yeah, it really didn't. That's a 7 fill and 26 after 2 for Caitlin Zoltko. And she'll play that same piece of wood again. Yikes, that's a 7 box for Caitlin Zoltko. Still a big 17 after 2. That's 33 and 3. And the 47 after 5 is confirmed for Anthony Leonardi. Just for funsies. 2 boxes to go for Caitlin Zoltko before we switch back to Anthony Leonardi. And here she goes. Oh, it looked like it was almost going to be the pocket, but she dropped 5. Just a little bit to the left of the head pin. Oh, drop 6, actually. Late falling pin. Look away, and another pin falls. 1-7-10-6. Caitlin Zoltko on the head pin. Oh, and it was a good spare bid, and things just didn't quite work out. Zoltko will take a 9. That's 42 and 4 for Caitlin Zoltko. Anthony Leonardi 38 after 4. Great to have you along with us. I'm Steve Kelly on the call for the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour, as well as 3 Ball Spare. If you want to check out 3 Ball Spare on YouTube, that's where I have a YouTube channel where I do a bunch of awesome bowling stuff and have all kinds of fun things, shorts, matches, you name it. All that kind of stuff over there on 3 Ball Spare. There's a 2 drop for Caitlin Zoltko. It's on the right side, a half Worcester on the 3 and the 9. 3-9 punch for Caitlin Zoltko. Oh, and she'll punch right hard through the center. 4-6-2-10. So 6 so far for Caitlin Zoltko, guarantee. She is on pace with Anthony Leonardi in this game. And she'll take an 8. That's 50 after 5 for Caitlin Zoltko. Plus 3 over Anthony Leonardi is 47 after 5. And Anthony Leonardi holds on to the total by 27 at this point. That is still a slim margin. It's only like a mark and some change, like 2 marks and some change in terms of the fills. or just a simple double strike will get you right back in it. Anthony Leonardi went on a tear of marks in the first game in particular. That's basically explaining the lead as of right now. But here he is, the man himself. Let's see if he can repeat the performance of the first game. And he's on the pocket. Oh my goodness, did you see how fast that strike was? That is another strike for Anthony Leonardi. That is his fourth strike of the match. Let's watch that. Watch how fast that was. Look at that. Instant microwave strike. Anthony Leonardi with a 50% hit pin completion percentage, 8 for 16 so far. He's working on a strike. Oh yeah, that ball drifted very quickly. 5-drop Kaleri on the left side. Next ball completes a strike fill. This is named after Bob Kaleri of Candlepin Stars and Strikes. This is the left side Kaleri. And on that Kaleri, he'll punch the 2, and that will be a 6 fill on the strike, 63 in 6. Anthony Leonardi totaling 47 in fills, averaging 7.8 per mark. First ball average is 6.2. That's a Class A number so far. That's 7 blocks for Anthony Leonardi, 70 in 7. 2 marks this game. 2 for 7 on the head pin this game. No splits. Anthony Leonardi, I've covered him several times recently. He faced Greg Vellante at Academy Lanes in the regular season. He also bowled against Kevin Martell here at Lakeside Lanes recently. All those matches I covered. Anthony Leonardi dropped 7. That's the 1, the 5, and the 3. I remember his match with Kevin Martell. He got a phone call in the middle of it, and he was... I don't know what it was about, but it was like a Jason Bourne moment. He was very focused on that phone call, and he managed to not only do that, but he was bowling as well, and he's a man of high priorities. I was talking to him before the match. He's a tech guy. Does a lot of the tech for the Candlepin Skins show. Check that out on Candlepin Corner on YouTube. There's a 10 box for Anthony Leonardi. Is at 80 in 8. He said he's not much of a commentator. He's more about the behind-the-scenes tech. But I told him, I said, hey, it's still impressive any which way. He helped produce the Skins show when it was at Leda Lanes for several seasons. He'll drop 7 on the head pin. 2, 6, and 10. 3, 6, 10. What am I saying? The 3, 6, and 10 are on the deck. There's 3 pieces of lumber down there as pieces of wood. Oh, and he's a little bit to the right. Takes 2, leaves 1, leaves the 3, leaves the object pin. Should have connected with a 3-6 pocket, connected with a 6-10 pocket. And he'll take a nice 10 box. That's 90 and 9 for Anthony Leonardi. In case you missed it before, here's the playoff picture. Tonight is Caitlin Zoltko versus Anthony Leonardi. The winner will go on to face either Nick Susi or Gary Dion. Assuming that match hasn't been played, the matches can be scheduled and played at their bowler's own discretion. This is what I currently believe, if I'm caught up on all the matches, what the current playoff picture is. So there's a 5-drop for another Kaleri for Anthony Leonardi, averaging 6.3 on the first ball after 2 games. That's a Kaleri on the right side. 1, 3, 6, 8, and 10, with a piece of wood in between the 1, the 3, and the 8. On the Kaleri. He'll take 2 and leave 3. Two marks this game for Anthony Leonardi. He's going to throw less than a 132, possibly a 100. It'll be a 99 for Anthony Leonardi. So coming a little bit down to earth from the 132. 231 is his total. Caitlin Zoltko down in the game by 49. And a deficit in the total by 79. 5 boxes behind Anthony Leonardi. So that will give you an idea of what the current situation is. The gap may have narrowed a bit now with that lower second game from Anthony Leonardi. And Caitlin Zoltko, given her match history this season, she can have some really explosive games. Caitlin Zoltko, there she is. Splitting 5 on the head pin. 4, 6, 2, 7, 10 for Caitlin Zoltko. In her past 5 matches, she's totaled 2692 pins in total pinfall, averaging 538.4 pins per match. Caitlin Zoltko will take 2 more out. That's the 6, 7, 10. She has 15 out of 18 matches out of over 500. Her longest streak of matches at or over 500 has been a staggering 14. That means 14 uninterrupted matches at or over 500 in this class. So you don't see that a whole lot. There's always at least one in between somewhere. That's one statistic I've noticed. But Caitlin Zoltko had an unbroken streak of 14 matches at or over 500. Her longest streak of strings at or over 100 has been 6 this season. Her longest winning streak of greater than 7 points per match has been 12. She averages 10.67 points per home match and 9.33 points per away match in the regular season. Caitlin Zoltko now with, a gnarly amount of splits. She's 4 splits, 4 headpin shots and 3 splits this game. 4, 6, 3, 7, 10. She'll connect with the 6 and the 10, leave the 3, the 4, and the 7 for Caitlin Zoltko. She's averaging 5.3 on the first ball. She's 10 for 17 on the headpin overall with 7 splits. And that will be an 8-box for Caitlin Zoltko. That's 67 in 7 for Ms. Zoltko. Anthony Leonardi leading in strikes. Zoltko with 1. Both bowlers with 2 spares apiece. Zoltko 59% on the headpin. Anthony Leonardi 45% on the headpin. Here's Caitlin Zoltko. On the headpin, split 7. That's a 5-3-10. Wood still settling. And it's settled. 2 pieces of wood, risky pieces of wood between the 3 and the 5. But Caitlin will miss it entirely. And Zoltko will take an 8. That'll be 75 and 8 for Ms. Zoltko. Zoltko will drop 8 and leave a difficult leave of the 5 and the 10. Caitlin Zoltko has been 6 for 9 on the headpin with 5 splits. The luck factor is definitely not working in Caitlin Zoltko's favor right now in terms of the first ball. She's on the headpin, but despite pounding the pocket, there's just not a lot of luck in terms of the leaves that are convertible. That's 84 and 9 for Caitlin Zoltko. The difference in the total is just about 45, minus 1 box for Caitlin Zoltko. It's a difference of 15 in the game. And Caitlin's off to the right. She'll drop 3. It's a 6-pack and the 10. The gulf between the first ball average between Anthony Leonardi and Caitlin Zoltko is actually a little bit wide. Anthony Leonardi is 6.3 on average. Caitlin Zoltko 5.4 on average. Caitlin Zoltko will leave the headpin, and only the headpin. And yikes. This will be for a 10 box. That object pin, that pesky object pin is left. So after 10, that's 93 for Caitlin Zoltko, down by 6 to Anthony Leonardi's 99, and the difference in the total is 36. Anthony Leonardi, 231. Caitlin Zoltko, 195, and in the second game, it was a difference of 6. Again, it is not about the individual games in the playoffs, it's about the grand total pinfall, so keep an eye on that total differential of 36. Still not a big lead, but it's a fairly decent early lead for Anthony Leonardi. It's only a couple of marks, like 2 to 3 marks gets you right back in it, and sometimes it doesn't even require marks. Sometimes, just like we say in Worlds, if you throw like a 9 box and your opponent throws like a 4 box, that's almost the equivalent of a mark and a fill. Leonardi nearly a Julian strike. The headpin is all that's left. He didn't even hit that headpin, but he wiggled it. Anthony Leonardi is 9 headpin shots for 21 with 2 splits this match so far. And there he is. Ooh. Sorry about that. Hit the wrong button. There's a spare for Anthony Leonardi. Huh. There's like a keyboard shortcut in my software that's like a booby trap. It reveals all the formulas and is right next to my hotkey for the spare. I gotta fix that someday, but luckily I know what that hotkey is now. And there's an 8 drop and an 8 fill for Anthony Leonardi. 18 after 1. Oh, excuse me, a 9 drop. Not a split. These late falling pins are killing me.
Oh, come on.
So it will be a 9 fill, but he'll miss this single.
Make it pay.
And he'll take a 10 box out of that. Some might call that a Paul Grant special. Paul Grant is in the audience, actually just a couple feet from me, so we'll plug that right there. The Paul Grant special, misses second, get the third. That's a $1 donation for Candlepin per cancer per occurrence.
Like an animation.
Anthony Leonardi on the third ball on the head pin. He'll drop 8.
Make the best of it.
That's the 6 and the 7. It can go, it's just a difficult leave is all. Let's see what he can do about this. 6 and the 7. Oh, and the ball bounces, and he'll foul 1. That's -1, whatever that ends up being. Leaves the 6. So it's an 8 box or greater. No possibility for a 10. 8 or 9. It'll be a 9 box. That's 38 after 3 for Mr. Anthony Leonardi. Two boxes to go. Anthony Leonardi, he averages 8.14 splits per match. His home house is Academy Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts. He won't connect with the head pin. And he'll take 4 down. Some on the right, some on the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9. It's on the pocket. Oh, and he'll pound everything but the 9. So it'll be a 9 box or greater for Anthony Leonardi. Oh, and he'll leave that 9 for a 9. And that's 47 after 4 for Mr. Leonardi in the gray on lane number 8 here at Lakeside Lanes in Manchester, New Hampshire. Check us out on exit 1 on Route 101 in Manchester, New Hampshire, near the Hooksett line, a stone's throw from the Puritan Backroom, and many other awesome places in Manchester, New Hampshire. Do check out the Puritan Backroom. It's Adam Sandler's favorite place to eat. That's on exit 9N or 9S. Either exit will get you there. One of them you just have the U-turn. Check out their chicken tendies and their mudslides. Love the mudslides. There's a 7 for Anthony Leonardi, and that's 54 after 5. That's 1 mark. Spare 9 in the beginning, and then 10, 9, 9, 7 for 54 after 5 for Anthony Leonardi, and that's the story as of right now. 5 games in here on the ACST. Caitlin Zoltko getting warmed up to get going on lane 8. We're at Lakeside Lanes since 1959 in Manchester, New Hampshire. 24 great lanes with CompuScores, a semi-automatic scoring computerized software system. Have a great bar here at Lakeside Lanes called the 25th Lane nearby the Massabesic Lake. Voted multiple times by WMUR as the best bowling alley. And actually, I think they just won it again, because as I turn around to look at the thing posted on the wall, and it looks like they won it again. So Lakeside Lanes doing a great job of winning those hearts and minds of those in New Hampshire. And speaking of winning the hearts and minds of those here, check out that the diamond spare. The 2 diamond. Caitlin Zoltko takes it out. Diamonds are hard to get. You know, it's in the name. Diamonds are hard. But Caitlin Zoltko finishes the diamond. It defeats it. 10 after 1 in a bonus. She's to the right of the pocket. She'll drop 6 and fill 6. That's 16 after 1. Caitlin Zoltko averaging 5.5 on the first ball. Anthony Leonardi is 6.6 on the first ball on average. Zoltko's off to the right. For the 10 box. And she'll poke one more out. There'll be a 7:23 after 2 for Ms. Zoltko. In Caitlin Zoltko's past 5 matches, she has achieved regular season matches, I'll add. She had 13 strikes, 51 spares, and 58 tens, averaging 2.6 strikes per match, 10.2 spares per match, and 11.6 tens per match in the past 5 regular season matches. And there's a 6 drop and a split for Caitlin Zoltko. 5, 9, 3, 7. An interesting leave. You have to connect with the 3-5 in some way. My recommendation is go to the right of the 3. Caitlin Zoltko sees that shot, and that was exactly how he drew it up in the locker room. Excellent shot by Caitlin Zoltko, and let's watch that again, shall we? 3-5-7-9. 3-5-7-9. And like I said, that right of the 3-pin was the operative shot, and Caitlin Zoltko understood the assignment. Lane 8 fires on the head pin, 1-2 pocket, and she'll get a nice 7 drop and a split of 7 and a fill of 7. That puts her at 40 after 3. And Zoltko, she'll spare that up as well. That's 3 marks for 4 for Caitlin Zoltko. That's the 3-9-10, and let's watch this go because this shot can be deceptive. There's almost always 1 pin left, but Caitlin Zoltko used that 3-pin to kick back and then to the right. She's at 50 after 4 now. Caitlin Zoltko's having a hot half here. Oh, and well, that happened to Anthony Leonardi as well. There's a spread eagle and a 4-drop. Still a good 14 box for Caitlin Zoltko. Spread eagle, punch out the center, leaving the left and the right wings. The traditional academic 4-pin spread eagle with no talons. She'll punch the 2, and only the 2. That's 5 up, 5 down. Caitlin Zoltko matched Anthony Leonardi at the 5th frame. In the 4th frame, 54-54, and now it's just additional pins. 5 plus, it'll be a 7. That'll be 61 for Caitlin Zoltko. After 5, Anthony Leonardi, 54 after 5. The total differential drops to 29. Overall, at the official halftime, 2.5 games in, Anthony Leonardi is up by 29-285 to Caitlin Zoltko's 256. So still a tight match, still with only a few marks. It is not a runaway in any capacity. As you know, Candlepin bowling, that can happen. Anyone can get hot at any point. Speaking of getting hot, Anthony Leonardi really good at throwing the initial first dagger down the planks. That's the 2, the 7, and the 8. So the 8-pin is orange, and it took me a second to see it. Actually, it's not orange. My eyes are just bad. And Anthony Leonardi will just miss. He'll double-click the ocean in the back. And it'll take a nice 10 box, and we might call that a program special. Complete miss on the second ball and get the 3rd. We talked about this before, you know. Candlepins for Cancer. We'll talk about Candlepins for Cancer in just a little bit here. Thanks for reminding me, Anthony Leonardi. We'll talk about that when we have a free moment. But first, Anthony Leonardi in the gray on lane 7 on the 1-2 pocket. He's been doing great on the strike so far, and that looked like a strike ball. He'll split 7. 5-9-7 for Mr. Anthony Leonardi. Fires to the right. 5-7-9. And he'll take a 7 box. That's 71-7 for Anthony Leonardi. Let's talk about Candlepins for Cancer real quick. Check out candlepins4cancer.com. That's run by Al Johnson and Paul Grant. Al Johnson on the left in the blue, Paul Grant in the right on the red there. There's it's a great charity for folks in the Candlepin bowling community in need of cancer treatments and assistance for cancer-related stuff. You know, as much as I do, that cancer is just no good at all. So do check it out. You can do more than just donate also. There's also plenty of tournaments. They just wrapped up their ladder series at Boutwell's Bowling Center in Concord, New Hampshire. So do check it out. All the info is on candlepins4cancer.com. Anthony Leonardi drops 8. That's a 7 and the 8. That's a split. A lot of wood in front of the 7 and the 8. And there it goes. He just beans the wood. Spray and pray. Great spare. The spray and pray worked. That diagonal piece of wood, watch that. He aimed right for it and plowed it, red line it. Anthony Leonardi on the board with a spare. 81 plus a ball in 8. In the follow-up, he's to the left of the head pin. He'll drop 6 and he'll fill 6. Didn't hit the head pin. He's got the right side 4 horsemen. 1, 3, 6, 10. Right side 4 horsemen, Anthony Leonardi. He'll punch 2 and leave 2, leaving the 1 and the 10. Very exciting kids running behind me. And for the 8, 9, or 10 box, he'll take a 10. That's 97 and 9 for Anthony Leonardi. He's currently at 328. Putting up the wall of defense for Caitlin Zoltko, who's on a hot first half of 61 after 5. And it's just little moments like this. This is where you can wonder, maybe this could be when the other bowler can overtake. But we'll find out in just a moment here. Here's Anthony Leonardi to the right of the headpin, dropping 7. Yeah, but if you full screen it, right? Oh, it doesn't. Well, if you have it in the full screen, it should be the full... I don't know. Anyways, that's 104 for Anthony Leonardi. That's 335 for a 3-game total. And that will put him at plus 43 in the game that Caitlin Zoltko has to overcome. And she was down by about 31, if I recall, after the second game. So Caitlin Zoltko 1 strike, 5 spares. Anthony Leonardi 4 strikes, 4 spares. Caitlin Zoltko is currently in the lead for the headpin completion percentage at 64%. That's a wide margin ahead of Anthony Leonardi, who's at 47% in particular. So that headpin percentage for Caitlin Zoltko has been working out, except for the fact that she has a lot more splits for Anthony Leonardi, twice as many, 12 to his 6. To give you an idea, so Caitlin Zoltko, the split factor can kind of be a bit of a luck factor. Had Caitlin Zoltko had fewer splits, I think she would have a lot more marks, and sometimes that's just out of the bowler's control. And she's off to the right of the headpin and drops 6 at the left side, 4 horsemen. Not a bad leave if you can connect with the 1-2 pocket and run everything down. Or connect to the left of the 1, or to the right of the 1. And she's on the 1-2 pocket, but a little bit full. I remember speaking with Bob Lee about those kinds of shots, and it's like Class A bowlers will generally go for the right side rather than the pocket, which is kind of a higher risk, higher reward. Because if you connect with the pocket, then it's generally not as much of a guarantee that it will run all 4 down. If you're to the right of the headpin, you can just bulldoze the whole thing down at a perfect angle, but it requires more precision. And I remember Bob Lee saying it's like more of a Class A move to go to the not pocket side, and then the pocket side is more like classes B to F. Not to demean that or anything. It's just apparently the statistical lay of the land. And Caitlin Zoltko's on the 1-3 pocket, and what a heck of a shot that was. That was a 1-3 pocket shot. That's a 4 drop. My goodness, for Caitlin Zoltko. 5.4 on the first ball on average for Caitlin Zoltko. Anthony Leonardi 6.6. She deserved a much better ball than that, honestly, on the first ball. She'll leave 7 on the deck, 7, 9, 4. And she'll take an 8. That's 77 and 7 for Ms. Zoltko. Compare that to 71 after 7 for Anthony Leonardi. Caitlin Zoltko 1 strike, 5 spares. Anthony Leonardi 4 strikes, 4 spares. And again, that headpin percentage for Caitlin Zoltko, 63% to Anthony Leonardi's 47% for the quarterback rating, but still more than twice as many splits for Caitlin Zoltko, and that's kind of the differentiating factor right now. Aside from the fill total, which is Anthony Leonardi's favor, 62 to Caitlin Zoltko's 32. Start to paint a picture as to some of the more granular microeconomic stats in the game. That's a 3 drop for Caitlin Zoltko. That's a 6-pack in the 10. Extra beer can. You can purchase it at the liquor store or Market Basket or a grocery store in New Hampshire. We're having some fun in the comments. Ed Sargent, I think, said that. He goes, you can buy beer at more than just a liquor store, right? I'm like, well, it kind of depends, what state you're in and legalities and all that. And I guess there's always gas stations. But anyways, there's a 7 box for Caitlin Zoltko. That's 84 and 8. Down by 3 to Anthony Leonardi's 87 and 8. In the total at the moment, 2 boxes behind, Caitlin Zoltko trails Anthony Leonardi by 56 pins. So Caitlin Zoltko can make it close if she can have 2 good marks here in the last 2 frames. Caitlin Zoltko 279 to Anthony Leonardi's 335 at an uneven point in the game, and she's to the left of the headpin, half Worcester plus a friend. 4 drop. Plus 2 friends, actually. 1, 3, 6, 9, 4, 7. Piece of wood across the 4 and the 7 for Caitlin Zoltko. And she's on the headpin. She takes everything but the 9. Good shot, good spare bid. Offer not accepted, though. 84 and 8. with a potential 94-9, 93 guarantee. Oh, and there it goes. So that'll be a 10-box for Caitlin Zoltko, 94-9. So with a 10-box, you can tie Anthony Leonardi in the third. Again, it's not about the individual games, it's about the overall match performance. But it's currently a gap of 46 for Anthony Leonardi. 46 minus this frame. Caitlin Zoltko's off to the right. Pins are still mixing. Drops, gets a 6-drop out of that. It started with a 3-drop, ended up becoming a 4 horseman left side. What could have been a right side Candlepin corner drop. And Caitlin Zoltko will take that mark. She needed that one. It's going to narrow this gap yet. Watch that 4 horseman shot. Runs him down. She's on the 1-2 pocket. That was a shot she was trying to go for before. Again, that was the pocket version of that shot as opposed to the right side of the headpin shot. This is the last ball, and she missed the headpin, but she drops 6 out of it. A great 6 for a 110 for Caitlin Zoltko. 110 to 104 is confirmed, and it's a difference of 30. So still the gap has remained roughly the same in Anthony Leonardi's favor. It's a difference of 30 for Anthony Leonardi's 335, Caitlin Zoltko 305. Caitlin Zoltko 17 for 30 on the headpin. That's a 57% quarterback rating. Anthony Leonardi 14 for 30 on the headpin. In terms of the fill totals, Anthony Leonardi is currently leading that charge. 62 on fill totals, averaging 7.8 per mark. Caitlin Zoltko, 38 in the totals, averaging 5.4 per mark. And welcome to the fourth game, 4th of 5. 20 boxes to go in this match. Anthony Leonardi on number 8. Lane number 8. Drops 7.
Go get that.
1-2-4 for Anthony Leonardi. The orange pin is the 2 pin. At Lakeside Lanes, the orange pin is part of a pool system where... Oh, and nearly a spare. Oh, but wait a minute, that piece of wood? Nope, it's not going to take it. The orange pin pool at Lakeside is if the pin spotter puts down the orange pin as the head pin and you put your dollar into the pool, every time you get a mark off of the orange pin, you get entered into a raffle to win some money. It's the story of the orange pin at Lakeside Lanes. That's a 10-box for Anthony Leonardi, 10 after 1. Anthony Leonardi in his past 5 matches, he took 44 points in the regular season, averaging 8.8 per match. 2576 pins in the past 5 matches for total pinfall, averaging 15.2 per match in his recent performance in the regular season, that is, not counting the playoffs. In the regular season, he went 7 for 18 for matches at or over 500 in total pinfall. Anthony Leonardi missing the mark there. His longest streak of strings at or over 100 in the regular season was 5. Longest streak of matches at or over 100 has been 3. And he'll take a 9-box out of that, 19 after 2. His longest winning streak of greater than 7 points per match has been 3. He averages 7.67 points per away match and home match in the regular season. His past 5 matches, performance on marks, 12 strikes, 53 spares, 43 tens, 2.4 strikes per match, 10.6 spares per match, and 8.6 tens per match in his past 5 matches, to give you an idea of his recent performance. And there's a little traffic jam down there, so not to worry. That'll clear up in just a minute or two. Let's check and let's pause for a moment and just bring it in here. If you think Candlepin bowling is your thing, if this is something you're watching for the first time and you're wondering what the heck this is and you want to get in the car or get on a plane or something, I don't know where, I want you to go to candlepin.org and click Go Bowling to find the nearest center to you. And there's a lot of centers all over New England as well as Eastern Canada, but we're just going to focus on New England for the moment. There's even one as westward as Albany, New York. And there was even a new one that opened in Worcester, Massachusetts, the birthplace of Candlepin bowling. The lanes that used to be Lita's Lighthouse in Nashua, New Hampshire have moved south down to Worcester, Massachusetts. So do check that out, candlepin.org. should be your starting point if you want to check out Candlepin Bowling, the world of Candlepin Bowling. Let's see, we're still just waiting on the lanes down there to reset. Here's Anthony Leonardi's stats again, in case you missed it. We talked about this earlier in the match, but he's 138 and 114 on the season. Currently the first seed in his division. He was the division winner in Class D North Division 4, and that placed him number 3 in the wild card. And he has a season high 1 of 131 and a high series of 591, nearly a 600. And to compare that to Caitlin Zoltko, her high single is 143 and her high 5 is 594. We're still waiting on that pin setter. It's just about to clear up. And here we are. Welcome back. Just had a brief intermission for the pin setter to catch up. And there's Anthony Leonardi. He's not going to give the pin setter any time to rest. He'll drop 8, 5-9. Oh, and it was actually a 9 drop that became a spare. What is it with these late falling pins that fall when I'm looking away doing something else? That's 29 and a bonus after 3 for Anthony Leonardi. Corrected first ball average up to the 33 boxes in, 6.8 for Mr. Leonardi. And here he goes. To the right of the head pin, and he'll fill with a bit of a chaos ball. A fill of 6. Missed the head pin to the right. 1, 2, 7, 9. When he's on the 7 pin, all over that 7 pin, but leaves the 1, 2, 9 uncontested. And that'll be an 8. 43 and 4 for our away bowler, Anthony Leonardi. He has 4 strikes, 5 spares. He has 6 splits, 44% on the head pin, totaling 68 bonus pins on fills, averaging 7.6 pins per fill. Anthony Leonardi on the head pin, punches hard, splits 5. He's 2 for 5 on the head pin with 1 split this game so far with 1 mark. Worst box was only 8. This will be a doozy. It's the spread equal minus the 3. He'll take 2 off the right side and leave 3 on the left side. 2, 4, 7. 2, 4, 7 for Mr. Leonardi. Nice 10 out of you, Anthony Leonardi. That's 53 after 5. Making the best of that. Bookending it with an X at the beginning and an X at the end. Kind of like an old AOL screen name. 53 after 5 for Anthony Leonardi with 1 mark in the center. Perfect bookends and a spare on the center. It's now Caitlin Zoltko's turn. Again, on lane number 8 at Lakeside Lanes in Manchester, New Hampshire on the Massabesic Traffic Circle. Nearby the Goldenrod. Nearby Route 101 on the way to UNH. If you decide to go to... Whoa! There's a strike for Caitlin Zoltko. Let's pause for a moment to celebrate that quick and slow and quick strike at the same time. Let's watch that again. There's Caitlin Zoltko. She was on the 1-2 pocket all over it and kind of sliced the 6, and the 6 almost didn't fall until it did. It's Caitlin Zoltko's strike. For the double on the 1-3 pocket, she'll drop 4 pin thinking about it. She'll drop 6 so far. Next ball completes the fill. She defeated the diamond before. It's the same diamond as the last time, the 2 diamond. Caitlin Zoltko on the 2 diamond for the strike fill. Oh, and that 4 pin, the wiggly pin, doesn't fall somehow. That's the luckiest pin in the world. Apparently the safest pin in the world. Yeah, look at that. 9 box for Caitlin Zoltko, 28 after 2. What, by all intents and purposes, really should have been a spare on strike, but hey, is what it is. 28 after 2 for Caitlin. Compare that to 19 after 2 for Anthony Leonardi. The 53 after 5 is confirmed as I look up at the copy score. There's Caitlin Zoltko. She's on the pocket. Splashes 5. You can believe that. 4, 6, 7, 8, 10. I can't believe a shot that good resulted in only that. And Zoltko, she was just riding the rail on the left side. She wanted to go for that left triangle, the 4 triangle, but only took the 7. It's the 4, 6, 8, 10. There's wood in the center between all that. 2 pieces of wood. She'll take 1. That'll be a 7 box, leaving the 4, 6, 10. That's 35 after 3 for Caitlin Zoltko.
Well, I met your brother, by the way.
Caitlin Zoltko in her past 5 home matches, she's taken 52 points in the regular season. In her past 5 away matches in the regular season, she took 48 points. She averaged 10.4 points per home match in her past 5. In past 5 regular season away matches, she averaged 9.6 points per match. In the pre-playoffs, it's in the regular season, it's all about the points, where you take up to 2 for each string and 4 for total pinfall. Tying results in a split down the center. That's a right side half Worcester for Caitlin Zoltko on the 3 and the 9. Caitlin Zoltko leads the 1, the 5, the 6, and the 10, missing the spare shot. Caitlin Zoltko, she has 4 of 18 matches in the regular season without double-digit wins, so that's a lot of matches with double-digit wins. And last time versus Anthony Leonardi, she came out on top with 10 points, and she'll take a 7 box here in the 4th. 42-4 for Caitlin Zoltko. Caitlin Zoltko, she is actually one of the very few bowlers to hold superlatives in all of the categories on Micah Imperato's superlative sheets. The number 3 highest Class D average, the number 8 Class D high single, the number 5 Class D high total strikes, the number 1 average strike fill. There's a 6 drop on the head pin. The number 5 Class D high series, the number 2 Class D total spares, the number 4 Class D average spare fill, the number 3 Class D perfect box percentage, the number 3 Class D total tens, and the number 4 Class D fewest average pins left. And there is a spare for Caitlin Zoltko. That's a great way to end it. She was on the left side check mark. The 2, 4, 5, 7 for Caitlin Zoltko. Look at that go. That was a fantastic spare. She needed that. She's at 52 in a bonus after 5. Potential to pull ahead here in this game. She's at 52 in a bonus for Caitlin Zoltko. It's a difference of 31 for Anthony Leonardi. Anthony Leonardi has been holding on to the total by about 30-ish for quite a while now, and here he is. And he'll go to the right of the head pin. He'll take a Caleri on the left side. It's a Caleri. That's a left side Caleri named after Rob Caleri, who appeared frequently on WNDS Candlepin Stars and Strikes. Look up his name on YouTube, and I'm sure you'll find him. And he's off to the left of the head pin. He'll leave the 1 and the 9. She's got the 8. She's got 8, 9, or 10. That's a 1 and the 9 on lane 7. And here's Anthony Leonardi for the 10-box attempt, and he'll leave the object pin head pin. That's a 9-box, 62 in 6 for Mr. Leonardi. Anthony Leonardi in his past 5 away matches in the regular season, he took 33 points, averaging 6.6 points per match. In his past 5 home matches, he took 51 points, averaging 10.2 per match. Slightly better home than away, but he finished with the same record no matter what. Oddly enough, won the lottery on that. He'll drop 6, right side 4 horsemen. Yeah, Anthony Leonardi at home, 69-57. Away, 69-57. That is full moon levels of interesting. There's a spare for Anthony Leonardi, though. All over the right side 4 horsemen. Connects and runs them all down. Let's watch that again, because didn't quite see if that was a pocket or Brooklyn. It was a pocket spare on the 4 horsemen right side. And Leonardi on the pocket. He'll draw. Pin's still thinking about it. It'll be a 6. Split a 6. 78-7 for Anthony Leonardi. That's a 4-6-2-10. Or 2-4-6-10 if you want to convert imperial to metric. Leonardi, and he'll play the wood, and the ball bounces around and somehow comes back to take the 7. Takes a round trip through the air. And that's a 2-4-6 for Anthony Leonardi. 7 box or greater. 7, 8, 9, or 10. And that will be a 9 box for Anthony Leonardi, 87-8. Anthony Leonardi has been, since the first game, thanks to that big 132 at the beginning, he had a lead of 30, and he's kind of held on to it ever since, and that lead has been hovering in the low 30s ever since, plus or minus a few pins up to this point. And he's got another strike on the board. More of these explosive strikes for Anthony Leonardi. Blowing them up. Watch this. Look at that go, just on the 1-2 pocket, and the 9-pin slid a little bit, but fell. That's his 5th strike of the match. 5 strikes, 6 spares for Anthony Leonardi. And for the double, he's on the pocket and almost does it. He'll drop 9. Anthony Leonardi's averaging 6.7 pins on the first ball. And like I said, that is Borderline Class A numbers. 6.7 on the first ball. Average. Compare that to Caitlin Zoltko's 5.4 on the first ball. Big gap there. Big gulf there. And there's a spare for Anthony Leonardi. A spare on strike on the single. He's at 117 in a bonus. And that will certainly widen the total differential if Caitlin Zoltko can't string a bunch of marks together here. You know, not to say that's impossible. It's just marveling at the pins he's piling on in small intervals here. And that will be a 6 fill for Anthony Leonardi. That will be a 123, and that is confirmed. Just wanted to double check. That's a 4-game total of 458 for Anthony Leonardi. We'll assess the difference after these next 5 boxes for Caitlin Zoltko. Caitlin Zoltko on the bench with a spare, 52, and a bonus after 5. She went 4 for 5 on the headpin. Remarkable. 60% on the headpin for Caitlin Zoltko. 14 splits to Anthony Leonardi's 8, and Caitlin Zoltko is still 5 boxes behind Anthony Leonardi. So, like I say, like sometimes that split stat, you just there's something to be said about, you know, the fairness and luckiness of that, but that's the sport. And Caitlin Zoltko will drop 8 and split 8 and fill 8. Good pocket shot, and it could be a possible spare leave. She's got the 5 and the 7. Piece of wood behind the 5. Hit the 5 the right way, and it will go. Oh, but Caitlin Zoltko will play nearly the cap of that wood to the left of the 5, and she really had to approach it from the right side. So unfortunately, that will not go. Zoltko will make the best of it, but she'll make it an 8 box. That's 68 in 6. That's a +6 from Anthony Leonardi's 62 in 6 at the equivalent point of the game, if they were bowling head-to-head. 4 frames to go. Caitlin Zoltko averaging 5.5 on the first ball. 2 strikes, 7 spares on the evening so far. Anthony Leonardi, 5 strikes, 7 spares. And that's a 6 drop and a split for Caitlin Zoltko. That's a 4-6-2-7. That's a split. You have to connect with the 2-4 pocket in some way. And Zoltko. Oh, beauty of a spare by Caitlin Zoltko. That was precisely what I thought she had to do. And she understood that that was the right course of action on the 2-4-7-6. That pin flying to the 6 was just beautiful. It was absolute cinema right there. And on the fill, she'll take a left side Caleri. The Caleri is coming out strong here. It's the 4 horseman left side and a sleeper pin 8. Caitlin Zoltko on the Caleri. Just a little bit off the target pin, leaving the 1 and the 8. So she's at 83 and 7. That's still ahead of Anthony Leonardi's 78 and 7 at the same point in the game. Still a difference of 70 for Anthony, plus 70 for Anthony Leonardi. That's a 9 for Caitlin Zoltko. Now the total drops to 61 for Anthony Leonardi. Anthony Leonardi is 2 boxes ahead of Caitlin Zoltko, but this was the point where Anthony Leonardi went on a mark run. Caitlin Zoltko is ahead of Anthony Leonardi at this point in the 8th frame, but if she can get some marks here, that'll be good. She's on the pocket. There she is. There's the strike. Both bowlers with a strike in the 9th. Great ball by Caitlin Zoltko on lane 7. On the 1-2 pocket. And the last pins to fall with a 5 and the 9. Very definitive. When these strikes go at Lakeside, everything goes and there's almost no debate. For the double strike for Caitlin Zoltko, oof, she'll punch 2. Right side half Worcester. Next ball completes the strike fill for a possible big 20 in the 9th. And she still can get a big 20 in the 10th. Max, we'll assess that in a second. And Caitlin Zoltko will make her strike fill. She needs every pin she can get. That will be a 7. That's 109 and 9. And it looks like potentially we're going to look at a 30-something point lead for Anthony Leonardi. 117 game 4 for Caitlin Zoltko. It's a difference of 36 for Anthony Leonardi. His total differential lead actually went up by about 5-ish pins. So it's currently 458 for Anthony Leonardi. And it is 422 for Caitlin Zoltko. That is confirmed with the 117 for Caitlin Zoltko and the 123 for Anthony Leonardi. It is now time to move on to the 5th and final game. Advantage Anthony Leonardi by plus 36.
That's what I just said.
And we are moving on to the 5th and final game here on the ACST. Effectively a handicap game for plus 36 for Anthony Leonardi at this point. So we kind of think of it, you're fighting to the 5th game to see who gets a handicap in the 5th game. Anthony Leonardi plus 36. Think of it that way. Grand total pinfall wins, and these are the last 10 frames. Let's go, Anthony Leonardi. Drops 5, left side Coleary. Another Coleary. 1, 2, 4, 7, 9. For the spare on the Coleary, he'll punch the head pin a little bit hard.
Centimeter.
A little full, leaves the 4-7. Leonardi will take a 10, make it a 10 box with that 5 drop at the beginning. That's 10 after 1. For our bowler with, he's number 1 in Division 4 and 4 in the wild card. Defeating Caitlin Zoltko will be a big upset. Caitlin Zoltko, number 1 seed overall. Anthony Leonardi, ooh, and he'll lemon drop it. That's a one drop on the 4 pin. First ball punch out of the 4, the 6 pin. $1 donation to Candlepins for Cancer, and it's a $5 donation if it's on a mark. Our little fun little pool. And it'll leave the center diamond, the 7 and the 8. And he'll make a nice 8 box out of that. That's 18 after 2 for Mr. Anthony Leonardi. Anthony Leonardi, in the regular season, he had 11 out of 18 matches without double-digit wins. The last time versus Caitlin Zoltko, he took only 4 points. So I guess is a bit of a revenge match, I suppose. Anthony Leonardi enjoyed the 12th highest Class D average at 101.6 and the 7th highest Class D high series at 591. We'll drop 4 for the opening frame, missing the head pin. Opening box, that is. And he'll punch the 3. Suddenly the punches come out in force. Last time Anthony Leonardi faced Caitlin Zoltko in round 10 in the regular season, he took 4 points averaging with a 479 series, 3 strikes, 6 spares, 8 tens, 18 headpin shots, 7 splits against Caitlin Zoltko last time they met in round 10. And that will be an 8 box for Anthony Leonardi, 26 after 3. Anthony Leonardi recently faced Greg Vellante in round 18 in the regular season. He took 488 points. Or excuse me, he had a 488 series with 12 points, 3 strikes, 9 spares, 10 tens.
Come on.
And he'll drop 9, a late falling 9.
Go get it.
That's the 5 pin for Anthony Leonardi. Piece of wood that may or may not be in or out. It's out. It's out of the light now. Ask Caitlin Zoltko to go retrieve that. Thank you, Caitlin Zoltko, for your services there. While we have a moment, I want you to check out some other awesome channels. If you can't get enough Candlepin Bowling and want to see plenty more, there's plenty more where that came from. We're broadcasting from the ACST Facebook page this evening, but I'll have this later on up on YouTube on 3 Ball Spare on my page. There's also Candlepin Bowling Network on YouTube. There's at Candlepin Bowling on TikTok and Candlepin Corner on YouTube, so do check all of those out. And without further ado, with the wood clear, Anthony Leonardi is shooting at the single for the spare, and he's all over it for the spare. 36 and a bonus after 4 for Mr. Leonardi.
All right, Big Phil here.
5 strikes, 8 spares for Anthony Leonardi. That's the standout. Both bowlers with 8 spares, but Anthony Leonardi just turning on the jets when it comes to the strikes and chaining them together. And that double strike he had at the beginning was huge. And that will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a 4 fill after all the pins wiggle. 40 after 4 for Anthony Leonardi. Oh, and he'll miss to the right. Yikes. He wanted to connect with the 1 pin on the right side, and that's the Class A shot, but just couldn't quite reach it, went into the ocean, then he overcorrected on the 3rd ball for a 7 box, and that's a 47.5 for Anthony Leonardi. It might be one of his lowest halves, actually, this match so far. Coming into this game, Anthony Leonardi had a pretty sizable lead. So They came into this fifth game, Anthony Leonardi 458, Caitlin Zoltko 422. That was a difference of 36. Doing some mental math here. So Caitlin Zoltko now. She's on the scene for the fifth game with an orange pin head pin, and she'll take 3 off the left back corner. The Candlepin corner. And when we talked about Candlepin corner earlier, they produced the Skins show. Lots of familiar faces appearing on the Skins show, myself included, so do check out all those episodes on YouTube featuring Lita Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire. Caitlin Zoltko will take a 10 box to open things up in the fifth game. Both bowlers with a 10 box in the first. Caitlin Zoltko, 59% on the head pin. That's a really, really, really good stat. Anthony Leonardi, 44%. And she'll quarter Worcester it. Both bowlers with a 1-drop in the second frame. They're both cursed in the second frame for the 1-drop, apparently. And Caitlin Zoltko will take a few more out. She's mixing pins down. 1, 2, 5, 9. It'll be a working box. 1, 2, 5, 9. 6 box guarantee. It'll be a 6 box. 16 after 2 for Caitlin Zoltko. In addition to all those other channels I was talking about, there's even more. And more than just video content as well. The Candlepin chat group on Facebook is a great place to find out about tournaments or where to get involved or figure out just what the heck is going on in the Candlepin world up to the minute. There's alleychat.net and alleychat's YouTube channel for great recaps of the Friday Night Pro League and all other kinds of fun stuff. Really in-depth stats there. It's a 5, 7, 8, 10 for Caitlin Zoltko. A split. Another headpin shot and another split. If you're into the old classic matches from the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, there's Wolfman12395 on YouTube and the Candlepin Bowling channel on YouTube. And Alley Chat also has their Alley Chat Classics series. So plenty of matches from the old days. Caitlin Zoltko will leave the 7 pin for a 9 box. That's 25 after 3 for Ms. Zoltko. Here comes Caitlin on the 1-2 pocket. Pins are still mixing. It might be a strike. The 10th pin was touched multiple times by wood, but it didn't fall. The 10 pin glued to the ground, wiggles but doesn't fall on lane 8. Caitlin Zoltko for the spare, and she'll take the single. That's the 35. And a bonus in the 4th. Compare that to 36 in a bonus after 4 for Anthony Leonardi to give you some grounding comparison. You know what I'm talking about. Caitlin Zoltko's on the mark. Lane 8. On the 1-3 pocket, she'll split. Yikes. Bucket of 5 on the 10. So a 4 drop? Yikes. A 4 fill. Deserve better than that. But she'll spare it up. Doesn't matter. She'll get another shot at that. Great shot by Caitlin Zoltko. Watch this. That was what she thought of that first ball. Just walking away from that like an explosion in a movie. That's 49 in a bonus after 5 for Caitlin Zoltko. 47 after 5 for Anthony Leonardi. Here in the final 5 boxes of the playoffs in the semifinals of Class D North. Here on the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour, I'm Steve Kelly on the mic, and that's Anthony Leonardi and Caitlin Zoltko. Final 5 boxes for for Anthony Leonardi. He'll start first. He'll drop 2 so far. He'll take the 2 and the 4 and nothing else. And he'll take, wow, a couple more. 7, 10, 5, 6, 3. As we go to close out here, I'd like to say a couple of special thanks, as we always do, to our ACST committee members, including our league commissioner, Danny Finn, our Class D treasurer, Nate Lees, who actually just bowled recently, actually, at Exeter Bowling Lanes. Check that match out on YouTube on 3 Ball Spare. Our ACST statistician, Micah Imperado. The staff at Lakeside Lanes, quite a few of which are actually watching this match off camera. Great thanks to them for hosting the match. And oh, and yikes, there is a lemon drop for Anthony Leonardi on the 4-pin. I'd like to thank Steve Abodeely for some of the B-roll and photography you've seen this evening. Check out his work at stabadeely.com if you want to see more. And oh my goodness, Anthony Leonardi just chopping wood down there. He took the 4 and now he took the 3. There are some days where I've gotten the exact same thing at Lakeside. Oh my goodness, that's a 3-box for Anthony Leonardi. We've seen a 3-box in the playoffs. He's at 56 after 7. But stuff like this is big because you think about how it was a deficit of 36 for Caitlin Zoltko coming into this 5th game. Anthony Leonardi was plus 36 with a 458. Caitlin Zoltko 422. So just to give you an idea, that's where we're at with all of this. Anthony Leonardi will split 4 on the head pin. 4, 6, 3, 7, 8, 10. Piece of wood that could sweep. Got to hit it at a precise angle. Leonardi, oh, nope, just a little bit to the left of the wood, spins it, takes 3 of 3. Leaves a 3, 6, 8. In addition to everyone I named before, I'd also like to thank viewers like you for watching. It's always great to have you along for the ride, whether it's now, whether it's 10 years from now, I don't know. It's just great to have you supporting the game, supporting all of the local centers and the business and all the businesses and all that. It's Candlepin Bowling always appreciates your patronage in any way you can provide it. And Anthony Leonardi will drop 7. 1, 2, 7 down there for a spare leave, and he's at 65 and 8. A rare moment of weakness for Anthony Leonardi here in the 5th game. And you never know, you could have a miracle moment here for Caitlin Zoltko. Don't count any bowler out. And Anthony Leonardi will miss a spare, leave the head pin. Yeah, I'm seeing, sometimes you just get a feeling. I'm kind of seeing a bit of a potential Boston Celtics moment here for Zoltko. You never know. It could be possible. That's a 10 in the 9th for Anthony Leonardi. 75 and 9, 533 series so far. The overall total for Anthony Leonardi is plus 62 right now. And that's not impossible for Caitlin Zoltko to achieve. Caitlin Zoltko is also on a mark. Leonardi misses the head pin in the last frame here. He drops 5. His final first ball average for the night after 50 boxes is 6.1. Leonardi needs this spare, and he'll punch a little bit too hard and leaves the 6 and the 7. Yes, this is a formula for potential upset in Caitlin Zoltko's favor. And there's a 9 and an 84 5th game for Anthony Leonardi. Anthony Leonardi's final defense is 542 after 5 games. 132, 99, 104, 123, and 84. That is the story for Anthony Leonardi for the evening. Anthony Leonardi, 5 strikes, 8 spares, 21 headpin shots for 50, 9 splits, 94 on the bonus. Mark fills, averaging 7.2 per mark. So Caitlin Zoltko needs a 72 half to win and move on to the next round of the playoffs, the final round of the playoffs, to be in the running for the championship. Caitlin Zoltko off to the races. Misses the head pin. She'll fill with 4. That's 53 and 5. Down by 67 now. Needs a 67.5 or better. And Zoltko will almost spare it up. She'll leave the 9 and the 10. On the head pin, but just a little bit not quite angled, not quite direct. Not quite enough to take them all out. Every pin counts at this point. She'll take a 9. Great 9 out of Caitlin Zoltko, 62 and 6. She's 27 for 46 on the head pin so far, and that is incredible. 59% head pin completion percentage Caitlin Zoltko is maintaining. She is really good to be staying on target. And Caitlin Zoltko's on the head pin again. She'll split 6. She made the shot before. 2, 4, 7, 10. And at this point, she really has to pile on the marks. Deficit of 58. 2, 4, 7, 10. Oh, and she'll just miss the 2 by just a little bit to the right. and catch a piece of wood and trip the 4 and the 7. 2 and the 10 for Caitlin Zoltko. She'll punch the 2 and leave the 10 for a 9 box. That's 71 and 7 for Caitlin Zoltko. Caitlin Zoltko is a max of 161 if she can bowl all strikes from here on out. And she's down by 49. 3 boxes to go. Caitlin Zoltko needs 50 to win. Otherwise, we're going into a 1-string roll-off. She's on the headpin, and she'll split 6, and that will be a banana split. 4, 6, 7, 10, and a piece of wood out of play for Caitlin Zoltko. Although it might be rolling back in, we'll keep you posted. I think it's going to roll back into play. Nope, it's rolling the other direction. It is most likely out, so we're going to call upon Anthony Leonardi to go retrieve that pin. And in the meantime, we talked about, of course, all these channels like Candlepin Chat, Alley Chat, and these other stations on YouTube, and also check out the Ripping the Rack podcast and the Approach podcast on YouTube and Facebook, respectively, as well as Tony Levesque and Charlie Collins on YouTube and TikTok, respectively. Awesome content they produce, and again, there's just so much Candlepin content out there. In addition to this, Caitlin Zoltko will take 2 off the left and leave 2 off the right. Let's see, what else can I tell you about? There's also on TikTok, there's @Candlepin Bowling, there's Outrun the Bear on Facebook and Instagram. There's a 10 box for Caitlin Zoltko. The total, the lead drops to 39. Anthony Leonardi plus 39. There's also Bowling with the Gothiers on YouTube. There's the Candlepin Bowling channel on YouTube, the Ripping the Rack podcast, the Approach podcast. Yes, we talked about all this, so check out all this stuff if you're just can't get enough Candlepin Bowling content out there. And Caitlin Zoltko, she'll take 2 off the front row. And I hate to say it, that might potentially be it. Caitlin Zoltko will leave all but the 1 and the 3. The 1 and the 3 for Caitlin Zoltko for a 10 box. And she'll leave the headpin for a 9, 90 and 9. Caitlin Zoltko now down by 30. She needs a triple strike to tie, so it needs to be perfect from here on out. Her max game is 120, and she's down by 30. So yes, if there's no strike here, that's the game for Anthony Leonardi. Caitlin Zoltko, though, almost a strike. Oh, my goodness. The 7 pin's even wiggling, but it doesn't go. That's it. Then in that case, there's a spare for Caitlin Zoltko. That's 100 and a bonus in 10. And at this point, it's a big congratulations to Anthony Leonardi for moving on to the final round of Class D North. Caitlin Zoltko, it definitely was a close one, and she'll fill that mark with 4, and that will be a 104. 5th and final game for Caitlin Zoltko with a 5-game total of 526. Anthony Leonardi wins at 542. And like I said, it was just a mark and some change. A spare and a 7 fills away between our 2 bowlers. Anthony Leonardi, 542. Caitlin Zoltko, 526. And that is the story of the playoffs. And here's the graph. As you can see, the total pinfall was definitely in Anthony Leonardi's favor almost all the way, except for towards the beginning and towards the end, and it was like they almost converged at both the beginning and the end, but it was unbelievable how competitive this match really was. But Anthony Leonardi just managing to maintain it with primarily all those strikes. 5 strikes for Anthony Leonardi, 8 spares, and Caitlin Zoltko 3 strikes, 11 spares. The perfect box percentage, Anthony Leonardi 50%, Caitlin Zoltko 42%. But still, Caitlin Zoltko putting up really impressive numbers, particularly in the headpin percent. 60%, 30 for 50 for Caitlin Zoltko. While Anthony Leonardi, he actually had a 42% headpin completion percentage, 21 for 50. It's all about those splits. Caitlin Zoltko had more than double the splits compared to Anthony Leonardi. 20 splits for Caitlin Zoltko, 9 for Anthony Leonardi, and that's really kind of the big factor there. In terms of the fills, it was actually closer than you might think. Anthony Leonardi had 94 in bonus fills on the marks, averaging 7.2 per mark. Caitlin Zoltko, 79, averaging 5.6 per mark. And the first ball average, Anthony Leonardi maintaining a steady 6.1 on the first ball. Caitlin Zoltko averaging 5.3 on the first ball. The average is Anthony Leonardi, 108. Caitlin Zoltko, 105. So that's about it for us here. 542 for Anthony Leonardi, 546 for Caitlin Zoltko. And here's the playoff picture. So Anthony Leonardi will be moving on to the next round, and he will face whoever is the winner against Nick Susi and Gary Dion in the next round. And whenever that is scheduled, I'm sure it will be streamed, and we'll figure out who will be streaming that. Stay tuned on the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour page on Facebook for more details over there. Anyways, so that should just about be it for us here at Lakeside Lanes in Manchester, New Hampshire. For Anthony Leonardi and Caitlin Zoltko, I've been Steve Kelly. I want you guys to have a great one, and we'll see you at the next Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour match.